Hello students, good morning. I welcome you to this new class. Hope you are all keeping fine in spite of lockdown and other difficulties. Keep yourself busy, safe, and try to learn the maximum. And we are talking about one of the most important natural resources called water. And yesterday we learned about the importance of water, how the water is divided over the earth, and we found 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water, but the pure water is very little that is available. So the water in the ocean is not pure, therefore we cannot use it for our daily use. But the pure water or the clean water that is in the well or groundwater, the rivers, all these are very little, but we are misusing it at different places, at different occasions, and even that little clean water that we are destroying it, we are spoiling it, we are making it unclean because of our human activities. Today we shall see about the problem that we are facing because of the lack of water. What are the problems that we face and so on. And before we begin, we shall learn about a little information that is given there in this box. So it speaks about a place or a location called water market. You know, we buy so many things from the market, vegetables and other food grains, and so many things we buy from the market. And these days there is a lot of water also in the bottle for sale. Bottled water is available there. But there is a place in the Saurashtra region of India called water market. Water is openly sold there and people come and buy water there. So it is a place with a population of 1.25 lakhs, and they are completely dependent on purchasing water from their nearby talukas. So they don't have water source at all. Therefore, these 1.25 lakhs people daily they have to go to the market and buy water for their daily use. And we can see the box given above, in this column given above, how much water a person is using in a day. So see, for drinking a person is using 3 liters per day. So we are supposed to drink minimum 3 liters of water per day to keep our health in a good condition. Then for cooking we use 4 liters of water. It is per person. Suppose in a family there are 5 people, then for cooking they have to use 5 into 4, 20 liters they have to use. Then for drinking they have to use 5 into 3, 15 liters. So this is details are given for one person only, not for one family but for one person. Then for bathing we need 20 liters of water. Washing or flushing for the toilets and so on, we need 40 liters of water. Then washing clothes also we need 40 liters of water. Then washing utensils, the vessels and other things where we cook food, eat food and so on. For washing these utensils we need 20 liters of water. Then for gardening, pouring water to the vegetables, to the flower garden and so on, we need 23 liters of water. So altogether a person in a day he needs 150 liters of water. For living a normal life, a person needs how many liters of water per day? Per day 150 liters of water. So imagine those people living in Saurashtra, 1.25 lakhs people, they need 150 liters of water per day, and they are going and buying this much water every day per person to meet their daily needs. So we can imagine how much struggle they are going through because of this lack of water. So compared to them, we are really blessed. We have abundance of water here. Therefore, we need to think about others as well. We should not pollute the water. We should not dirty our water sources, especially like river and other small streams. We must always keep it clean. Should not go and throw waste there, and we should not also waste our water. We should keep the tap closed tight. Should not allow the water to flow simply. We should think about other people who are struggling for water. Now let us come to the real problems of this water. Lack of water. So there is a scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Scarcity means lacking. So a lot of places in the world there is lack of water. People are struggling for water. For example, most part of the Africa there is no water. It is very dry region. Then West Asia, in the West Asian countries also no water. Then South Asia, parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America and entire Australia are facing shortages in fresh water supply. So a large area we said. So which are the places lacking fresh water? Africa, West Asia, South Asia, then some parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico and parts of South America. These are the places on the earth where people are facing water scarcity. Then countries located in climatic zones more susceptible to droughts face great problems of water scarcity. And we know some people or some areas of our earth, they are in the climatic zone facing the severe climate. Some places maybe it is very cold, some places may be very hot. So such kind of places, they are very much there is so much of possibility to face water scarcity in their life. Thus, water shortage may be a consequence of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by over-exploitation and contamination of water sources. So, we can say there may be two reasons why water is not available in some places over the earth. One reason may be due to variation in seasonal or annual precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall. So all the places on the earth are not receiving equal amount of rainfall. So maybe because of that, those places receiving less rainfall, naturally they will experience more dryness. They will lack fresh water sources. Or maybe another reason we can say, so where the precipitation is not there, it is because of natural problems. Maybe human beings are also involved there. It is because of our activity like deforestation, like too many vehicles and too much of industrial activities and so on. All these are also causing us to reduce the rainfall in certain regions. So over-exploitation and contamination of water sources. People are over-exploiting. For example, people who are doing this farming, they need to do irrigation, pouring water or supply water to the field. So they pump out a lot of water from the borewell and they irrigate their whole field, and that is overusing. So when we go on pumping out water from under the earth, from the borewell, we need to make sure that this water is replaced again, maybe through the rain or maybe collecting the root water. So this water should be put there again. Otherwise we go on pulling out or pumping out, then that water level will go down and down and down, then the earth will become dry. So we need to make sure that we do not overuse it, overexploit it. We need to take out only certain amount. Always we must keep certain level fixed, reserved. Otherwise it is going to affect the land. Then also we are contaminating the water sources. Lot of water sources are contaminated. Contaminated means polluted. We mix so many things there. Maybe the waste from the factories mix there, or people all the waste in their house they go and throw in the river, and some people they go and put chemicals in the river to catch a fish, or the chemical, the fertilizer that we use in the land for garden, for farm, slowly that will slip into the river and water sources. So that also is contaminating the water sources. So we said the main problems that we face is, one is lack of rainfall. Because of the lack of rainfall, the water availability of water in one region can be very scarce. Another reason is, we said we are over exploiting the water sources. We are over exploiting the water sources, and we are also polluting or contaminating the water sources because of human activities. And so these are the two reasons responsible for the lack of water in certain places of the earth. Now let us proceed to another point. So we said water is not available everywhere throughout the world. Therefore, in some places there is water available, and that water we need to conserve, we need to preserve. So what are the methods to do conservation? So let us see how to do conservation of water, how to preserve the water without wasting it, without spoiling it, how to do this conservation. That is what we are going to see. So access to clean and adequate water sources is a major problem facing the world today. So not only in India but throughout the world, people are facing the same problem, that they do not have access to clean water. So they are facing that problem. So steps have been taken to conserve this dwindling resource. So dwindling means going down. This water source is going down, becoming less and less day by day. So some measures have been taken. People have realized that this is a dangerous problem. After some time there will be no water at all. Therefore, people have realized about the importance of conserving water and taking some preventive measures from water becoming scarce. So even though water is a renewable resource, its overuse and pollution make it unfit for use. So in the previous class we said, I hope you remember, that water is fixed. The amount of water or the quantity of water is fixed. It cannot be reduced or it cannot be enlarged. So the water is going on in circle. First it will evaporate and go to the sky, then precipitate or it will come down as a rainfall. Afterwards again it will evaporate, go up, then as a rain it will come down. So it is going on in a circle. So the water, the total amount of water remains same, only that it is in different forms. Sometimes it is in the form of water, sometimes in the form of water vapor, sometimes it is in the form of ice, and so on. So liquid, gas or a solid water can exist in all these three forms. So the water is apparently becoming less, though the total amount or the total volume of the water remain the same. The amount of clean water is becoming less and less. That is the problem that we are facing. The amount of clean water is becoming less and less. Because of the pollution, we are unable to use this water because it is getting polluted. It becomes unfit for using. So what the people do? They discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage, agricultural chemicals and industrial effluents in water bodies are major contaminants. So we said our water, clean water is getting contaminated. Why or how? Because most of the people who are running the factories, industries, all the wastewater from the factory and industry, they direct it to the river. Most of them are starting their industry on the river bank and all the wastewater they push it into the river. They are supposed to do the treat. They are supposed to clean that wastewater, then allow it to flow into the river. So without cleaning fully, without removing all the chemicals and the poisonous elements in that water, we cannot send them into the river. Otherwise, the entire river water will get polluted and animals there, the aquatic animals, fish and other animals in the water, their health will be affected and they will start dying off. So in order to avoid that, the industries, they are supposed to make sure that this water is, the wastewater coming out from the factory is cleaned first, is purified first before allowing it to flow into the river. That is one thing, that is the one method that we have to follow in order to conserve water. Then other things are the chemicals that we use in the agricultural farm. Lot of chemicals are used, urea, another phosphate, nitrogen, all those things are used in the field in order to produce better harvest. So all those things slowly it will go down to the soil and then it will reach the underground water, then it will go to other water bodies, rivers, canals, seas and so on. So that is another thing. So we need to control the use of chemicals, fertilizers as well as pesticides. All these should be used. You should not think that what I am putting in my farm is remaining in my farm. No. It is going down to the soil, then slowly it will get mixed with the water, and afterwards we will be drinking that water and our health will be suffering, we will be getting sick again. Then the pollute water with nitrates, metals and pesticides. So the chemicals that we use in the farm, what harm are they doing? They pollute the water with the nitrates. So the nitrate element, that is nitric acid, it is a chemical, and certain metals are there, harmful metals, they also get mixed with water, and also the pesticides, the poison, that also is getting mixed with water. And most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable and reach human bodies through water. So most of these chemicals that people use in their farm, what happens or what is their quality? They are non-biodegradable. Certain things are getting rotten in the earth. That is called degradable, biodegradable. If you put some leaves and branches or some other straw and so on, after some time it will get rotten and it will disappear into the earth. Or if one animal dies, we bury it there under the mud, and after some time if you dig and see, that flesh will not be there, it is rotten and it become part. That is called biodegradable. So it gets mixed with soil and it will not be a problem for us, it will not remain there permanent. But those chemicals that we are using, they are non-biodegradable. It will not get mixed with the soil, it will continue to remain there and slowly it will reach up to the water, and afterwards we will be drinking that water again. And so the same chemical that we use in our farm, it will be coming back to our own body to do harm to us, to make us sick and so on. Then water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably before releasing them into water bodies. So as I said, in order to conserve the water, in order to solve this problem of water pollution, every wastewater coming out from the factory or industry, we need to treat them properly. We need to purify them. After purifying completely, purify means remove all the harmful elements from there. This nitrogen, these pesticides, all these things should be removed from this wastewater. Then send them into the river. Then there will be no problem. It will remain like a fresh water. If you simply for saving money, the industry people or the factory people, they want to make maximum money, and therefore they will not bother to do all these works. They say, if I go for purifying this water, I have to spend more money, my profit will be less. They will be thinking that way, and they will quietly send all this polluted water into the river and spoil the river water as well. So, in order to avoid such kind of things, we need to purify these things. Even if it is going to cost some money, government should make it strict that all the people, those who are running factory, they should make sure that they clean this wastewater before sending into the river. That is one thing government has to make sure. Then forests and other vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. So other thing that we can do is we can plant more trees, then other vegetables, other trees or bushes, whatever it is. If you plant these trees, what happen? This tree will have lot of roots, and as the water is flowing down, if it is a slopy place, water will be flowing down very fast. But if these trees are there, the water will slowly fall down, slowly start flowing down. It will not be flowing very fast, but slowly. So as the water is slowly flowing down, what happens? Some water is sinking to the ground, inside the ground. That way it will help to increase the groundwater level. Otherwise the water will be simply flowing down and reach the river, then it will reach the sea and ocean and so on. So the earth is not getting the benefit of the water. So if the trees are there, then water level or the flow of the water will be slow, and slowly water will be sinking down, the ground level water will increase. That is another thing that we all of us can do, plant more trees, especially in a slopy place where the water is flowing down very fast. If you plant some trees, that will help us. Then water harvesting is another method used to save surface runoff. Then another thing that all of us can do is water harvesting or rain harvesting. What is this rain harvesting or water harvesting? That is the water that is falling on top of the house, on rooftop of the house, we need to collect through pipe. We need to connect the pipe all sides of the house and collect that roof water through this pipe, and it should be stored in another place. Maybe we can store in the syntax tank, or if we have a borewell, we can connect that pipe to the borewell, and so water will be stored in that borewell. Or if we have underground tanks, concrete tanks are there, then we can connect that rainwater and keep there, and when there is water scarcity, we can open that tank and take it out for ourselves. So that is a thing most of the people are doing. So during rainy season, they collect all the rainwater from the housetop and they store it in a tank or in a well or in a syntax tank or underground tank, wherever they have facility, they store it there. Afterwards, when the dry season starts, they start taking out this water. So that is a very important thing that all of us can do. Then the canals used for irrigating fields should be properly lined to minimize losses by water seepage. Another thing that we do is government makes canals from the dam. They collect the water through the canal and reach it to the field for irrigation purpose. Very often these canals are made by contractors, government contractors, and they do not give enough attention. They do not make it with good quality. They just for namesake somehow complete it and they collect the money and go. So afterwards there will be cracks will be there, leaks will be there, and water, a lot of water will be lost. It will not reach the destination. It will not reach the farm. So we have to make sure that the canals that are made for taking water from dam to the field, that has no leaking, no leakage. So water, the entire water should go down, should not be lost on the way. That is another way of saving the water. Then sprinklers effectively irrigate the area, checking water losses through seepage and evaporation. So the thing called sprinkler, you might have seen in the picture, the sprinklers are there. So they are sprinkling water everywhere. So that if you use this method, pouring water, sprinkling, then that again save a lot of water. Then another thing is, in dry regions with high rates of evaporation, so places where there is high temperature, the evaporation level will be very high. Where there is high temperature, more water is evaporated. So there, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. So such places where there is very high temperature, like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi and so on, the temperature is very high. Therefore, those farmers living there, what kind of method they use for irrigation? They use for drip or trickle. So they should make the water to fall little by little. If they pour plenty of water there, suddenly it will get evaporated and go. So instead, they should make a facility. The water will be falling at the top, at the root of the plant, drop by drop. So that the tree can absorb more water. Instead of allowing the water to get evaporated, the tree can absorb more and more water. Then the valuable water resource can therefore be conserved by adopting these means of irrigation. So these are few methods which we can implement in order to conserve the water. So the irrigation places, we need to use this proper method which is more helpful for the farmer, and we need to make sure the nalas or the canals are properly made without any leaking and so on. Then we need to collect the roof water and store in the tank. Then we also need to keep our water sources pure and clean, and do not allow the dirty water, untreated water from the factories, from the industries to move into to flow into the river and so on. So if you check all these things, and a very important thing is to plant more trees, allow the water to sink into the ground so that the ground will remain wet, and that will help the ground level water to remain steady and stable. So if you do these things, then surely our water problem is going to be solved to some part, to some extent. So each one will have to make it a point that I will do what I can, the maximum I can, I will try to do. If we have such kind of strong determination, I am sure the water source is going to remain, and we will be able to reduce the suffering of the people who are struggling due to lack of water, who are searching for water, or who are buying water with so much of money and so on. We will be able to help them all. So we shall wind up for today, and the next class we will study again about the natural vegetation and wildlife. So till we meet, bye.